Anything that happens to a man happens to him from an altar. Arrows of insanity are projected from evil altars. Projected infirmities, diseases, sicknesses are done from evil altars. Curses are laid from altars. Disappointments, failures, failure at the point of breakthrough, stagnancy, setback, all these things are done from evil altars. In-season sickness, cut off of expectations, they are done from evil altars. When a witch or a warlock wants to project evil arrow against someone, he does it from an altar. When witches and wizards want to cast spell, they do it from an altar. Sorcerers, diviners, necromancers, they all operate from an altar. Every occultic man has an altar. Every occultic man has a separate room where his altar is laid. And that altar is connected to the altar of the occultic grandmaster. So he connects his altar to a higher altar and he operates from there. When he wants to destroy or kill someone, he goes to that altar and makes use of the mirror there. You see, the evil people, they know very much about altar, more than the Christians, and they use it to afflict the people of God. That is why the book of Luke, chapter 16, verse 8, says that the children of the kingdom of darkness are wiser in their generation than the children of light. The average Christian knows nothing about an altar. The only thing he knows is that Christ died on the cross of Calvary. So Christ has paid the price. And that is why the evil people, the evil ones, the people of darkness, the children of Satan will continue to deal with that person from the altar because they know everything about an altar. They know the principle of altars. They know the operation of altars. They know the A to Z of the altars, and they use it to deal with you because you have no knowledge of an altar. Let me tell you, if you are a Christian and you don't know anything about altar, okay, the kingdom of darkness will use it against you. It will not prevent them from using it against you because you are supposed to operate in knowledge. You see, battles of life are fought from altars. When these people want to fight you, they connect to an altar and fight against you, but you have no altar that you are connected to. That is why it seems that you are fighting warfare and you are not prevailing. Even Apostle Paul, altars dealt with him. In the book of Romans, chapter 7, from verse 14 to the end, Apostle Paul was talking about altars. It was altars that was dealing with him. That altar is called altar of iniquity. That is why in the book of Philippians, chapter 3, verse 10, when he understood what was happening to him, so he began to desire to know the operation of altars. He said there that I may know him and the power of his resurrection and the fellowship of his suffering, being made conformable unto his death. So there is a conformation Christ died for you on the cross, but you have to conform. You have to fellowship with him in his suffering. Listen to everything that you seek from God, to everything that you require. Okay? There is a level of sacrifice that is required of you. Somebody was afflicted by witches and wizards. He went to a local church because this person, most of the night when he wake up, there are cuts in his hand. He see bruises, wounds, very, very visible ones. When he went to the local church, they told him that they don't know what he's saying. They told him that they don't believe in what he is saying. But this same person is tormented every night. They are using altars to afflict his life. They are using altar to afflict his soul. There are different kind of altars. There are altar of curses that when a man wants to lay curses on you, he goes to that altar or he lay an altar of curses against you. When Balaam wanted to lay curses on the children of Israelites, he has to do it from an altar. Okay? He built 7 altars. Now, there are people who are experts in laying curses. Balaam was one of them. And he knew that for him to lay a curse on the children of Israelites, he has to build an altar. So in that attempt, in that endeavor, 7 altars were built at each occasion. Sorry, he built 7 altars, and at each occasion, sacrifices were made. But that altar did not work against the Israelites. Why? Because of the altar that has already been raised by their patriarchs to counter every altar of curses that was raised against them. So there was an altar that was raised to counter curses against the Israelites. So while Balaam was laying curses on them through an altar, the altar that has already been raised to counter such curses begin to fight against the altar that Balaam was raising. So the altar that was raised on behalf of the Israelites frustrated every effort that was made from that altar to lay curses on the Israelites. What is an altar? An altar is a place of sacrifice and offering to God, to a deity, to a spirit. So an altar is a place of sacrifice. When Balaam raised an altar, he made what? Sacrifices. 2 animals were killed in each of the altar that was raised. Now, like I said earlier, there are different kind of altars. There are altar of curses where a curse is pronounced against someone. There are altars of iniquity. This altar sponsored iniquity in the life of someone. That was the kind of altar that fought against Paul in the scripture. That was the kind of altar that fought against Joshua, the high priest. There are altars of disappointment. There are altars of near success syndrome. When you are about to get something, okay, all of a sudden, stories will come in. There are altars of death, where death is pronounced against someone. There are altars of setback. There are altars of stagnancy. There are altars of embargo, altars of limitation. So everything that happens against you. Any evil that happens against you is done from an altar. But you know nothing about altar. Spiritual warfare that are done against you are done in altar. That is why somebody will take something that belongs to you, your material, your property. You will take that thing to an altar, maybe a witchcraft altar, or take it to a marine altar. They will place it there and they use that altar. They will use that thing against you from that altar. That is why evil people, if they want to do some evil against you, they take your name, they write it in a paper, and they take it to an altar. So that altar knows your name. That altar is bearing your name. From there, they sponsor iniquity. They do all manner of evil against your life. That is why somebody will take your hair. Somebody will take your underwears. Somebody will take something from your body. They will take it to an altar. From there, they cast spell on people. When witches cast spell on people, it is done from altars. So, like I was saying, an altar is a place of sacrifice. Every altar is a place of sacrifice. Altars receive sacrifice against someone. If people want to do something, when somebody visits a witch doctor, visits a warlock, altar of witches and wizards, or the marine altar, they make sacrifices on that altar. So altars receive sacrifice to work against someone. Before an altar can rise, okay? Before an altar can rise against someone, that altar have received sacrifice. Now, as a Christian, do you have an altar? Do you have a sacrificial altar where you make sacrifices against altars that are fighting against your life? But in the case of a Christian, you have to be a living sacrifice, okay? You don't offer the blood. Altar receive blood as sacrifice. The altar of evil people, they receive blood as sacrifice, okay, against the children of God. But you have to be a living sacrifice. What does this mean? There is a You have to have an altar in your house, and that altar sacrifice you make in that altar, the sacrifices you make in an altar is the hours you bring in the night. You deny yourself of sleep time, 2 hours in the night, 3 hours in the night. That is your own sacrifice, because you become the sacrifice yourself. You become a living sacrifice. The scripture talk about living sacrifice. That is what it means. You spend 2 hours, 3 hours in that altar, challenging altars that are challenging against your life. There must be a sacrifice. You must do sacrifice. That is where it is talking about confirmation. You must conform. You must have a fellowship with the suffering of Christ. That is what it means by fellowship, that I may know him and the power of his resurrection and the fellowship of his suffering. You must partake in that fellowship, okay? Be made conformable unto his death. There must be a conformation. Yes, Christ has paid the price at that. He has to conform. You have to bring out your own time and make sacrifices. What is an altar? An altar is a place of commitment. The people that work in altars, evil people, they are committed to their altars. Okay? If they are supposed to be in that altar by 1 a.m. in the night or 1 a.m. in the morning, they will be in that altar. If they are supposed to gather in that altar, they around 2 a.m. they will gather, because an altar is a place of communion where humans commune with spirit beings, where human commune with the supernatural. So, are you committed to an altar? That altar in your house, are you committed? How much time do you bring out in the night when you are supposed to be keeping watch? Are you keeping watch? Have you bring out any time of the night? Say, okay, 1 a.m. I'm going to keep watch for 1 hour. Every day, I'm going to bring out this time. I must keep watch. Then you are sleeping and you expect to counter what the evil people are doing against you when they are committed. Let me tell you, spirit beings, they respect commitment. If you're a child of God and you are not committed, you are not recognized. It is your commitment will tell the spirit beings that yes, this guy is serious, this person is serious. So he is committed. We are also committed to his whatever it is that he wants to achieve. So whenever you call, they listen to you. Whenever you appear, they appear. Listen, if you bring out if you commit yourself to be doing something at a particular time, there is a communion. Okay, when that time reaches, spirit beings will be waiting for you, and they are ready to communicate with you because they see commitment, they see seriousness. So you must live a life of commitment. You must be committed to your altar. Altar is a place of dedication. You must be dedicated to an altar. Okay? Altar is a place of Altar is a meeting place between humans, like I have said it earlier. Altar is a meeting place between human and spirit beings, between humans and supernatural beings. So you have to take it serious. Whenever you want to do something, there are angels that are already there waiting for you, and they are giving reports of whatever you are doing. If you are not serious, they will declare that there is no seriousness in this person. There was a time I was praying against a witchcraft activity that is going on in my life. Then somebody brought a revelation to me. The person said to me that there is something that he saw, that I was in a battle with an occultic person. So the spirit being, we are saying that the person that will win is the person that does the most sacrifice. Then I asked, what kind of sacrifice do they require? Is it money? And they said, no, it's not money. This one is the time and the sacrifice. That the person that I'm fighting is entered into 3 days dry fasting. This is a witch entering into 3 days dry fasting. So they also do the same thing you do, they do too. Without food, without water, without taking his bath, without anything. So when this person told me this, he said that the person that does the most sacrifice, I entered into my own. And at the end of it all, I came out victorious. So altar is very, very important in the life of a Christian. Okay? Altar is a place of sacrifice, like I said earlier. You have to make sacrifice. You have to be committed. You have to dedicate yourself to an altar. You have to be resilient. You have to be faithful. Understand? You don't. You see, it is only Christians that somebody will pray today, and you will not pray tomorrow. If you have to pray by 1 a.m., you pray today. Tomorrow you will not pray. The next tomorrow you will not pray. Whenever you feel like you come, there is no altar. That is not an altar. Remember, altar is spiritual. To every altar, there are spirit beings. There are custodians of the altars. The custodians are the spirit beings that operate in that altar. Altar is a spirit. It is not that building or that woods or those things that are there that makes up the altar. The altars are the spirits, the custodians that are operating in that altar. So whenever you appear in that altar, they appear and they listen to you. That is how it is also with a Christian. Dedication and commitment. If you must pray by 1 a.m. every night, if you must keep watch, at that time, keep watch. Keep keeping watch at that time. Okay? It is how to make an impact in the spirit. It is how to be recognized in the spirit. But Christians know nothing about altar. They have no knowledge. They are not committed to an altar. You see a Christian saying that Christ has died and they are being afflicted, they are being tormented. Okay, the evil people are working again because no altar is speaking for you. So the message I'm trying to pass to you is that in your prayer life, be resilient, show commitment. It is not when you see, it is only a Christian that if you pray today and nothing happens, you get tired. So it means that you have not understood anything about altar. Altar has to do with commitment. Altar has to do with faithfulness. If you believe in an altar, you will always come to that altar, come rain, come sun, because you know that that altar is able to set you free. That altar is able to deliver you. Even the people, the evil ones that go to altars to do this, they believe in what they are doing. They believe in that altar. Even if they are doing something, it's not working, they keep going to that altar. They keep going day in, day out. Every time they are supposed to be in that altar, they are there. That is how you are supposed to be. The children of the kingdom of darkness are wiser than the children of light. Because the children of light don't have faith, they are faithless. You are an altar, you stay in an altar and pray for 1 week, 2 weeks. You don't see anything, you get tired. But an occultic man, a warlock, a witch doctor, can be making sacrifices for 3 months, 6 months, believing that he will achieve what he's looking for. So I want you to learn something today. That is how to set up an altar. That is what an altar means. Remember, it is a place of sacrifice, a place of dedication. It is a place of offering. You offer yourself, you offer your heart. It is a place of commitment. It is a place of faithfulness, and it is a place of devotion. God bless you.